Something interesting that tends to happen around this time every single year is that people start evaluating how their lives are going and what they want to do differently. Say you're interested in getting in shape, building some new habits, or looking for some ways to improve on your finances. If you're not happy with your finances at this very moment, there's no better time to start than now to set some new financial goals. These are some goals to set and reach for around the time you're 30 years old, but they aren't necessarily time specific. I'm 21 years old right now. So if you're someone around the same age as me, I think 30 years is a good target to have these accomplished by. The purpose of these goals is to help create financial literacy and put yourself in a better financial situation when you look back a year from now. Planning and reaching your personal financial goals is the sure way to ensure that you can live the kind of life you want without necessarily having to stress and worry about money all the time. There's two timelines of financial goals you'll set, but most will either qualify as short-term or long-term goals. And when talking about short-term goals, I think about these from the next 6 months to a year from now in a relatively short period of time. This could be anywhere from paying off the remaining balance on your credit card or saving for an upcoming vacation. It's a lot easier to stay motivated to work towards short-term financial goals because you'll see the results of your actions much sooner than you will with long-term goals, obviously. On the other side of the spectrum, we have long-term financial goals, and these are goals that you plan to accomplish over a longer period of time. Typically, these are ones like saving for your retirement or paying off your home. And personally, I like to plan these goals for the next 7 to 10 years from now. Trust me, people find it harder to get started on long-term financial goals since you don't see the benefits of them immediately. That's why almost 50% of adults aren't saving anything towards their retirement. Everyone knows that the earlier you start saving for retirement, the better, but it's harder to do since you do not see the immediate effects of that decision. So enough of me rambling off and boring you guys to death. The first goal that you should look to set here is diversifying your streams of income. Most of us rely on just our salary as our only source of income, and even though this is normal, I believe that we would all be better off if we diversify and find other ways to make money. You can think of a side hustle to make extra money or even develop a source of passive income. There's countless of stories of people who have actually replaced their full-time job through an online business. But aside from starting an online business, you can also invest into stocks, cryptocurrency, or invest into real estate. Now, I can agree that some of these might take more time and a lot more money to get started up, but one of the easiest and most popular ways that you can diversify your sources of income is by investing into dividend-paying stocks. This is something you could start today with as little as a single dollar. Obviously, you won't make that much investing just $1, but investing into dividend-paying stocks will pay you a percentage yearly for the amount of shares you own. A company like AT&T will pay you 7% yearly. So for example, if you buy $100 worth of AT&T stock, AT&T will pay you $7, which is 7% over the course of a year, plus any appreciation the stock gains. Again, $100 might not do much, but if you invest consistently every month or every paycheck, eventually your amount will start to grow from $1,000 to $10,000, $100,000, and so on. It's important to be open to the possibilities. When you find ways to diversify your income, your chances of achieving your financial goals increase. I know it may sound intimidating saving up the first $10,000 or even the first $100,000 to start seeing a dramatic increase in returns, but it's easier when you slowly break these down into increments of weekly, monthly, and annual goals. This way, you will start to see your nest egg grow, and this can even encourage you to save more money and eventually help you find ways to increase your income so you can invest more money. It's actually better to get down to finding solutions for your financial worries and to just put in the work. At the end of the day, you will just spend more time worrying about these things and doing nothing. Instead, you could be using this time to progress and take strides towards achieving these goals, and this applies to any goals you want to achieve. That's just something to keep in mind for when things start getting tough throughout the year, but you still have these goals you want to reach. So the next one on my list is to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Around 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and each month's paycheck is only enough for those monthly expenses, and there's no money left over to invest for a better financial financial future, people literally worry and count down their days until their next paycheck, which is pretty scary to think about. For most people, living from paycheck to paycheck is a way of life, an endless cycle of money going out almost as soon as it comes in, kind of like a revolving door that you can't exit. It keeps you stuck from getting where you want to go, but it doesn't have to be this way anymore. Life sometimes catches us by surprise, so I would recommend building an emergency fund of anywhere from $500 to $1,000 that you invest 10 to 15% of your monthly income towards. So if you're someone that's making around $2,000 per month and you attribute $200 to that monthly emergency fund, that would be a great way to get it built up in less than 5 months. I would also recommend keeping this money in a separate savings account so you're not tempted or forced to spend it unless a real emergency occurs. Also, create a super simple budget plan. You can go old school and use a pen and paper, which is what I still do. On one side, you're going to want to label your monthly income, and on the other one, you're going to want to label your expenses, such as your phone bill, car payment, insurance, and food. After your necessities are out of the way, take a certain amount and contribute it towards your savings. I said that 10 to 15% would be ideal, but this might be something you need to play around with and see what works best for your own financial situation. Lastly, give yourself a set limit for personal items, such as activities and things you want to buy. By focusing on your wants last, you will already have contributed money towards your savings, so you won't even have to worry about that. And most importantly, just track your spending. It's one thing to have a budget, but if you're not sticking to it, then it's rendered completely useless. It may take some time to start tracking expenses instead of just mindlessly swiping your credit card, but by doing so, you will see exactly where your money is going every single month. Doing this will surely help you find ways to reduce your monthly expenses on things you do not need. Seriously, all you have to do is start budgeting monthly, spending less, and saving more. In the end, you'll gain security like you've never known before, and trust me, you will feel so much more comfortable from a financial standpoint. Another financial goal to strive towards is to have a good credit score. You probably heard some negative things when it comes to credit cards, but having a good credit score is very important. So definitely try to prioritize building your credit score just a little bit, because having a good credit score will give you the lowest rates on auto loans, home loans, and other necessities that you might need later on in the future. It's all gonna come down to the type of interest rates you pay on these loans, and I seriously kid you not, a good credit score will make the difference in you saving thousands of dollars or essentially losing out on those thousands of dollars. I do have quite a good amount of credit cards, but I make sure to pay them off every single month to take full advantage of them without them having a negative impact on my finances. I also recently made a video on the benefits of credit cards and some strategies that you can use to save money while making purchases with credit cards. If you guys want to check that video out, I'll link it somewhere right here if you're interested in that. For the fourth and final goal that I think you should consider setting is to analyze how much you need to retire and start working from that goal to where you are now. People don't usually really like to do this, or let alone start thinking about retirement at all, but personally, I enjoy doing this on a monthly basis. Don't just start randomly investing and hope you can retire one day. Start planning and going by yearly increments. So if you're someone that's 25 years old right now and wants to retire by the time you're 65, what do you need to do to get to that point? If you want to have $2 million saved by the time you're 65, you need to ask yourself, okay, where do I need to be when I'm 60? Then 55, then 45, and keep going until you get to where you are now. And start planning from where you are now to where you want to be when you retire. Try to aim for goals such as this to keep yourself accountable and make sure you're on the right track. Look at your life into the future and look at what you have to do to make sure you're on the right path every couple years. How much do I have to save? Or how much should I have invested now? And keep going down this path until you eventually hit that goal in the future. Honestly, it just scares the hell out of me to think that I would never be able to retire just because I didn't plan accordingly when I was younger. And that's just one of my biggest motivations to keep achieving my financial goals every single year. As a quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, so just use this video for entertainment purposes only, and consider adding some of these goals to your list. If you guys want to see a video about goal setting and how I plan out my goals accordingly, drop a comment down below. I think that would be a really fun video to make. As always, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys found some value, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.